What's up everyone, Jonas here for Thomann synthesizers. Today's video is going to be about how to create pads with different kind of synthesizers because I thought, okay, maybe besides using a polyphonic synthesizer where you put chords in it, the synthesizer is doing its thing and it's sounding beautiful. Maybe there are more techniques to create the emotional background or the lead pad of a track. I'm going to use a monophonic synthesizer, time stretching with granular synthesis, creating pads in Eurorack, Wavetable synthesis, and creating pads with Unison. I chose those synthesizers and methods because I think each of them has a kind of special character when you try to create pads with them. Without further ado, let's jump right in and let's start with Eurorack and Modular. So one big disadvantage of Modular is polyphony or playing chords. In Eurorack. So by now there are a few modules which are able to play chords or chord mode, like mutable plaids or shapeshifter and stuff like this. But to use one of these would be, I think, quite easy, because then you just put in some notes and it's playing a pad, adjusting by the envelopes. So I thought, okay, which way could I check out to create pads besides using those modules? For this one, I'm going to use the Atlantis by IntelliGel, and I'm going to set the LFO actually to a VCO mode to tune it a fifth apart from the root node. You only have to patch the output of the saw wave into the external in of the VCF. Then I'm sending the output to Minsk to have a stereo processing, and I'm extracting the mid part of the signal to the mimeophone. So the mimeophone by Make Noise is a quite a special delay, because you can pitch shift, have like a tape flutter, and also like a kind of repeater and looper with different zones. Moreover, you have color control of the delay. And I'm going to sync an LFO, so it's going to be resetted when I hit a note. And this output of the LFO I put into the attenuator of the color to have control over the color of the delay. Moreover, I'm using the microshift of the rate, which is receiving a signal from the Richter Vogelbach, which is a sample and hold and random voltage control. And this one is also getting clocked. The Vogelbach is getting clocked by Pamela's workout. No, the other Pamela. So by this we have like a kind of tape chorus delay, which is also slightly pitch shifting on the signal. Last but not least, I'm clocking the mimeophone itself to the rate of the Pamela. So let's play with it a little bit. And here it's really a subtle movement, a wide stereo field, really not plain anymore, and has a lot of character and changes. So in case you don't have a mimeophone, and the chances are pretty high, I guess, so I thought, how could it be recreated without this module? And I think when you use a looper, a resettable LFO, a clockable delay, and a sample and hold, then you can combine these to have this kind of tape fluttering and chorus effect on the delay. So up next, let's check out a monophonic synthesizer, where the advantage is at the same time the disadvantage, because you cannot play chords or polyphonic mode. I mean, you can set it into duophonic or paraphonic mode depending on the synthesizer you have, but you're not able to play true chords of, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 notes. So I thought, is there a way that we can kind of fake this? And yes, there are two ways. And so let's start with the first one. So for the Mono-Synth, I'm going to use the Pro 3 by Sequential. And of course I could play it in paraphonic mode or use the 3 oscillators to tune them apart in, for example, a minor triad chord or something. But I think this would be too easy and not recreatable for everyone who only has one oscillator on a Mono-Synth. So all we need to do is just use one oscillator without detuning, a little bit of filter envelope and amp envelope. So and when I press another note, of course, I'm not able to play chords. What we have to do now is turn on the arpeggiator with a not too sharp attack. And then we are able to play 3 notes, but of course they are not simultaneously, but in a row, like kind of layered. Then we have to use reverb to kind of freeze or hold the notes even longer. With the dry wet mix fully open. And you see, we are able to play chords. So even though we are droning the synthesizer a lot of reverb and we push it really in the background, we still have a little bit control over the timbre with the envelopes and the cutoff. So I think I would use this as a kind of background emotion. To me it's kind of soundtrackish and really emotional because it's like really heavy, like a wall of sound which is like a bit further away. So the second method I want to show is pushing the sounds not too far away and we don't have to use that much of reverb. Turn off the arpeggiator. And now we have to adjust the filter envelope and the amp envelope so that we actually just have a gate without any release so that the note is directly there and that's it. And now we are going to record single notes with a little bit of change in detuning or oscillator slop, LFOs, whatever you would like to have, of course. So let's start with the F. Up next we go for the A sharp. And the C. Now, as we recorded them, we have to switch into the DAW to kind of layer them and play them as chords. So let's change to Ableton. In Ableton, I layered the recordings and recorded them together. And afterwards, I took the audio of the sum and put it into the sampler. I created a MIDI clip with playing different notes and chords. We can use the sampler's filter to have bandpass or low pass. Moreover, I use the LFO to have a little bit of change in the filter cutoff. And afterwards, I am putting on the Microshift by Soundtoys with a widespread chorus, like small chorus for the stereo field. So let's continue with a polyphonic synthesizer, and I was choosing against the Deckard Stream because I think it's pretty easy to create something really beautiful and interesting with it, because the synthesizer itself has an extreme amount of character, and I thought, okay, this is not fair for someone who has like a more regular kind of polyphonic synthesizer. I'm choosing the Axis Virus and to create a kind of more dark and heavy Unison pad. So up next I'm going to recreate the pad you have heard in the intro track. On synthesizers, the term unison is used to describe two or more oscillators that are slightly detuned in corresponding to each other, which makes the sound really fat, I think. But on the other hand, this makes it to me, yeah, slightly aggressive and gives it a kind of dark drive to it. And to exaggerate this a little bit more, we're going to choose a saw wave. So just a normal sawtooth, and also on the second oscillator, kind of hyper saw, really plain. So, and now we want to really push it to the extremes to have this kind of dark and aggressive vibe. And by this we have to use unison, and there you can choose how many voices you want to have, and I think 8 is a little bit too much. So let's go for a twin voice. And here you can choose the detuning of them and the pen spread. So I want to have it like really wide and fat. And now we have to detune the oscillators a little bit more. And of course, watch out with the detuning. I was just pushing it really to the extreme so that you still be in key with your track. In case you don't own any synthesizer, the next method is going to show you that you can take basically whatever and turn it into a pad with time stretch and granular synthesis. I randomly picked a sample on Splice, which is holding one note, in this case a vocal sample. Then I'm loading the sample into Audacity using the pause stretch effect, and I'm stretching the sample by 20. So let's put the stretched sample into Ableton, and I'm going to use the Granular by Robert Henke in the Max for Live devices. I've created a MIDI clip and it's playing some chords, and while playing it's scanning through the sample on various points. Moreover, we can have a bigger scanning factor, and by this we are creating a steady sound similar to an oscillator we can use to play chords and pads. So this you could use to process it with chorus, reverb, whatever you would like on your pads. Up next, I'm going to create a pad with a Wavetable synthesizer. And I think this one is particularly interesting because you can achieve a really kind of organic, evolving sound by using LFOs and Wavetable together. For the Wavetable synthesizer, I'm going to use Iridium by Waldorf. So I loaded up different wavetables on each oscillator. And the first one I pitched up by 7 semitones. So let's play it. Now I want to set some LFOs to change the position or the travel of the wavetable so that we have a lot of changes, and my intention is that we don't have the same trigger or the same sound as the trigger before. So let's go into the mod matrix, and then we can go for source and then LFO1 going to wavetable position 1, maybe LFO2 wavetable position 2, and LFO3 to wavetable position 3. So there you go. Then under LFOs we can set the speed and the amount. So let's check it out. Let's maybe change the treble. There we go. Now it's really extreme, but you can hear the scanning of the wavetable. This like kind of light changes in the background. I mean, you can go even more crazy and make more LFOs to have more changes, but I wanted to show the principle of kind of scanning through the table. But you don't have to use a hardware synthesizer for that, because I think in Ableton 10 or 11 they integrated a wavetable synthesizer besides the common operator and analog one. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or ideas and methods you want to share with us, please put it in the comment section and we will get back to you. So thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.